What are you grateful for? People can see something materialistic like money, or see something irreplaceable and say siblings, friends, and yourself. Think of this speech as more of an icebreaker, telling you a little bit more about me to get to know me better. First, I'll talk about myself. Second, my siblings. And lastly, my friends. Now that I went over what I'm going to be going over about, I shall get to the main point, me. I will describe myself as somebody you'll never forget. Why I say that? I believe I leave a mark in everybody that I meet. I'm a very understanding person, and I've been into situations myself, so I know how it feels not to be okay. And that's okay. I make sure that people know that they matter. I always make sure that my friends and family know that I am there for them, even if it's just lent an ear. I know not many have the privilege of being told that someone is proud of them. I'm a friend to all. I know that doesn't seem much, but if you think about it, don't you think going up to a guy and starting a conversation or complimenting his cool anime shirt, brightening his day, be the change you want to see. Don't wait for something to happen. If I learned something through the years, is that kids can be mean. Making fun of someone based off their appearance isn't funny or cool. I befriended people who I know that they needed a friend. If I saw you and I thought you were cool or wearing something I thought was wicked, I'm gonna take the time to talk to you. I never forget a face. If you went to elementary school together and I would see you in public, I would say hi. It's never a dull moment reuniting with people you haven't seen in years. Something about me, I like to have a good time. And if I see you not having a good time, I will go out my way and make sure you are having a good time. Whenever my friends go out, I always make sure that they're okay. I let them know that your time is precious, just as mine. So why not make the most of it while we still can? I've been called a mom. I look after my friends. I care all for my friends individually. And when I was still in high school, I will look after my little brother's friends, knowing not many of them had that type of role model in their life. So I'd make sure they were doing what they were supposed to. Graduate high school. Now that I talked about myself, I'm going to talk about my siblings. I love my siblings to death. They are what helped shape me. They taught me responsibility and, most importantly, patience. Something to know about me, I'm an older sister, so I had two little ones to look after, and luckily, I'm a little sister. Before my older sister left her university, everything was mostly in her hands. She was like a second mom to us, and for that I am grateful. When we were little, she'd make these delicious breakfast-like food, and I can't wait for when she comes back from studying abroad, she can make them again. During COVID, she was a senior in high school, and I was a freshman. So yeah, she was making sure I was doing my work, even if we were just staring at a screen for most of the time. But I graduated her, so I thank her for that. In her honor, I did the same for my little brothers when they started high school. On the days when the older siblings were home, or days when my sister would come down from Santa Barbara visiting for the holidays, we played board games or have movie night. I consider myself lucky for being close in age and having a bond, and for winning most of the time. During Uno, it get pretty personal. My brother got plus 16 once. This is something we've done for years. Have movie night, but in my mother's room, because she has a bigger TV. We'd watch the Marvel timeline and the Conjuring timeline, which I recommend. Now that I told you about my siblings and the way that we bonded, I'm now going to tell you the people who've helped me on my journey. My friends. If you see me in public with my family, you wouldn't bat an eye. But if you saw me with my friends, you would want to put a restraining order on us. I could be myself around my friends. I am lucky enough to have people who are so welcoming, share the same interests, and even the same size and clothing. I never found myself filtering around myself with my friends, because I know they accept me for who I am, and for that, they accept my rareness. We all burst into songs as if we're in a musical. I know it sounds weird, and it kind of is, but if you could say something simple as a bird, I guarantee you we will find a song with that word in it, and we'll all burst into a song and all chime in and sing in harmony. Our parents knew each other before we were even born. How cool is that to say our parents are kicking in the 90s and the early 2000s? I'm part of a trio, Josie, Michaela, and I. Remember how I mentioned that I've reunited with people I haven't seen in a while? Michaela's one of them. She's my cousin. Just to find out that me and her went to the same high school after not hearing her for years. As for Josie, just like Michaela, I met her in high school. Later to find out our dads were really good friends back in the day, and the great-grandma who she's named after used to watch over my dad when he was little. Now that I talked about the trio that I'm in, we all know everybody has a best friend. And my best friend's name's Heavenly. She's my son. She shines in every room that she's in. I've known this young lady since the 2nd grade. Not that long ago, we ran into a local pool with a girl who was 8 years old, and she told that little girl that our friendship has been longer since she was alive, which is true. We've been friends for nearly a decade. You know that one saying, about best friends that you don't know their favorite color, but you know the most traumatic thing they've been in. She's one of them, but luckily I know her favorite color, pink. Now that I talked about my best friends, I'll now wrap this speech up. I've talked about myself, I talked about my siblings, and I talked about my friends. If you want to find true friendship, find people that meet you back.